Good morning, and thank you for meeting with me today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, so just to get started, I just wanted to mention how great it is to have Sam in our classroom. He is just an absolute joy. His behavior is just absolutely phenomenal. He's always going above and beyond in the classroom, and he's just a complete joy to have in class. He's super funny, and the classmates absolutely love him.
Wonderful to hear.
Good, yes. We absolutely love him. And then, while I have you here, I would just like to go over just some things that we've been doing in the classroom. Something that we have been working on quite often and very heavily is our phonics skills. And when I say phonics, I am referring to just the approach of the code of language and the relationships between spelling patterns to sound patterns. And so in order to achieve those skills, we work on a couple of different things. We work on phonemic awareness, fluency, comprehension. And what phonemic awareness is it's just the initial sound that makes up a word, so you might better know it as pronouncing a word. And then fluency is just the ability to read with accuracy, read with no errors at a steady pace. And then comprehension is just the ability to read a text and be able to understand it. So when testing Sam on all of these things, he really showed a lot of great strengths. He was able to identify rhyming words, he was able to identify initial sounds, and easily blended words together, which is super fantastic. He really has a great general understanding of phonics. So the basics, he definitely has covered, well, the early basics, I guess I should say. And then on a spelling test and a nonsense word test that I did give him, he showed a great understanding of consonants, short vowels, and blends, which is really great. So that's a huge improvement from earlier in the semester. He's doing really great with those. However, there are some areas that he did show difficulty in through those spelling tests and nonsense tests, and that would be with digraphs and long vowels. So for example, when he was given the word fan on a spelling test, he was able to spell out F-A-N, F-A-N, which was correct. He did really, really great on getting that answer correct. But then when given the word dream, he spelled it D-R-E-M. So he was lacking in that ability to hear that silent A. So he did put the E, but he didn't hear that long vowel of A in that word. And then the same thing with hope. When he was given the word hope, he spelled it hop instead of hope. So he lacked that last E sound in hope, which again is a long vowel mistake. But those are all things that can be easily improved upon. He's really working at a great pace. He's doing a really good job. And then another thing that he does show a lot of difficulty is reading two-syllable words. So he's able to read the word fan and hat, cat. When you get into those two-syllable, three-syllable words, those longer words, he's having a really hard time sounding and decoding those words out. And so when he's reading those words, he's trying so hard at decoding the sounds that he's really not comprehending what he's reading. So he's focusing on sounding the words out, which is great. That's what we want him to be doing, but he's not understanding what he's reading. So when given a comprehension assessment, asking questions on what had happened in the story, who were the characters, he was not able to answer those questions because he focuses so hard on sounding out that he's having a hard time comprehending. So what we want to do is we want him to understand. That's the whole goal of reading, is to comprehend what he's reading. So we're going to have to step it back a little bit and focus on those fundamentals of phonemic awareness in order for him to improve into those comprehension and accuracy skills.
Are these results normal for his age?
Well, the average students currently at this time of the year, the students are approaching a second grade level. He actually is falling a little bit below. He is actually approaching the first grade level. So he is behind schedule as far as, what reading level he should be at this time of the year, but he is improving.
What can we do to fix this?
It's a good question. So I have actually, come up with a few class interventions that I would like to really work on in my classroom. And so just, to kind of let you aware of what we're going to be working on in class is I'm really going to start giving a lot of various reading types of activities in the classroom, a little bit more in depth than what I usually have. So those may include like a read along with the teacher. So I may read a sentence and then I'll have them repeat it back to me, or they can follow along as I read so that they can hear those sounds with the words. I'll give them the choice to read with classmates, do some more independent reading, as well as rereading stories, having them read back to back to back to really work on that fluency. And then another thing that I'm going to really implement in my classroom a little bit more strongly is think alouds. So I really want to, when we're reading a story, give them time to pause, reflect on what they read, then pick back up to really work on those comprehension skills, and then give them more guided questions. So ask them questions throughout the story, let them reflect, answer those questions, begin again. So those are some things that we are going to work on. I also am going to provide a word sort activity, which is matching pictures to words so that they can see those pictures, see what the sounds are, memorize those words. It kind of works with some high frequency common words that we use in the classroom. And then along with that, I do want to create a word wall. So what a word wall is I'm going to post a whole bunch of words on the wall that are high frequency words. And if you're not aware of what high frequency words, those are just words that they would just use all the time, more so memorize all the time. So when they need, a visual to refer back to, they can look at the word wall when they're writing or reading. And then also create a word bank. So what we have already started and what we're really going to work on even more so is create a word bank in the back of their phonics journals where they can write words that they find in their readings, words that we go over during our phonics lessons, and those are just words that they can refer back to. So as they write those words, look at them all the time, memorize them, then they can recognize those words as they're reading and will be able to read them just by memorization, not even decoding or sounding out. And then, so that's what we're going to be working on, just so you know, like what we're going to be doing in the classroom. And those are things that aren't just going to help Sam, they're going to help all the students. So it's a really great strategies there. And then for the home interventions, one thing that I think would be great for you to work on if you can at home is the read alouds. So I do send a 1-minute read aloud that you guys work on in their homework packets each night. So they read for 1 minute each evening, but maybe as just a suggestion, if you could add on those minutes each night. So maybe instead of doing 1 minute, increase it to 2 to 3 minutes, or maybe even 5 minutes a night, just to get that added practice in each night of reading a little bit more. And then also, I would really like you guys to work on repeated reading at home. So maybe just give him a sentence or a passage and just have him read it over and over and over again. Just make him memorize that bad boy. And how that's going to help with his reading is it's really going to improve his accuracy. So as he memorizes those words, he's going to not have to decode them. He's just going to say them with no mistakes. He's going to be able to improve his speeding as well. So that's going to be a great strategy if you could work on those at home. And then also, I gave you a list of decodable texts that I recommend you purchasing for the home. I know that sometimes as a parent it's really hard to go to Barnes & Noble or to a bookstore and pick out books for your children just because you don't know the exact reading level, you don't know if it's too challenging for them. Is that what's matching what they're working on at school? And so I have created a list of different books that you can purchase at home, and what these books have in common is I picked out books that I think that Sam will really be interested in it.
Yeah.
Interested in, because I know that sometimes it's just hard for him to focus on things that he doesn't really like. And then also that are appropriate to his reading level at this time. And the reason why I want you to just really focus on these books only is because when reading books that are too challenging, his confidence level goes down and he's not going to want to read. He's going to have a really hard time with that. And so with these books that have more decodable text appropriate to his level, he's going to have a lot easier time with that. So here are those for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Definitely work on those things.
Perfect. Well, great. I really appreciate you meeting with me today. I feel like, with me working on these things in the classroom and then you working at home, I feel like he's going to make huge improvements and he's going to do really great.
Sounds great.
Perfect. So we'll touch bases again in a couple of weeks, and
okay.
Let me know if you have any questions at home or shoot me an email.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect.